Hey everyone, John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'm going to be comparing LingQ and Babbel, two pretty popular but very different language learning apps. And just as a quick note, since this is a video and I'm just going to be covering the major highlights, if you find you need some more detail at any point during this video, we also have a ton of helpful reviews and comparisons over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight, LingQ versus Babbel. That's a quick way to get there. Alright, so right out of the gate, I just want to break down how each app works. This will help provide a baseline for the pros and cons that I have coming here in a minute. So let's start with LingQ. And the short story here is that LingQ turns various forms of written and audio content into lessons for language learners. You can import your own content or choose from the community library of books, news articles, podcasts, YouTube videos, and more. These materials mainly come in the form of written text with accompanying audio, and they are entirely in whatever language you're trying to learn without any side-by-side English translations. The idea here is to create an immersive learning experience by providing you with extensive exposure to your target language through reading and listening to a wide variety of real content. This way you can start to acquire your target language naturally through learning new vocabulary in the proper context. So that's the LingQ learning method in a nutshell. Now, Babbel, on the other hand, takes a more holistic approach to teaching languages. Their lessons incorporate aspects of writing, speaking, reading, and listening, as well as grammar, all through a variety of mediums and drills. It seems that Babbel believes this more balanced approach is the most effective way of developing the language skills necessary to converse in your target language. Plus, to reinforce what you learn in the standard Babbel lessons, they also regularly prompt you to complete review sessions and offer supplemental tools as well, like games, podcasts, and stories, to make sure that the new vocabulary moves from your short-term memory to your long-term memory. Basically, the company packages their curriculum into short, diverse, and engaging lessons, and then they reinforce what you learned in those lessons with review sessions and some other side tools. Alright, so before I dive into what I like and don't like about each app, let's quickly talk about costs, since that's always important. So LingQ does offer a free version of their app, but as you might imagine, it's pretty limited. At the end of the day, they want you to sign up for one of their paid premium plans, which costs between $8 and $15 per month, depending on whether you want to pay for 6 months, 12 months, or 24 months in advance. And then switching over to Babbel, their plans cost anywhere between $8 and $18 per month, again, depending on the duration that you select. So really, at the end of the day, pricing between the two companies is pretty similar. There's no clear-cut winner here. But with that said, I would encourage you to check for sales and coupons before buying. We track both companies' sales calendars, and they're both almost always running some sort of deal or special promotion, and you can usually knock a few bucks off with Babbel or LingQ. In fact, I'll drop any current discounts that I can find floating around out there down below in the description for you. Make sure to check that out before buying. You might be able to save a few bucks if one of these apps ends up being a good fit for you. Okay, so now let's get to my thoughts on how these two language apps stack up, and let's start with the reasons why you should choose Babbel over LingQ. And the first is the fact that Babbel offers a clear-cut lesson plan and curriculum, while LingQ does not. This is largely because Babbel is more of a traditional language learning app with a structured learning path, while LingQ is more of a collection of random books, podcasts, and news articles that are packaged in a way to help you learn a new language. But honestly, I think having a set lesson plan and curriculum is better for two reasons. First, a structured approach helps you progress through the language acquisition process systematically and prevents you from becoming overwhelmed. And then second, I like that within a structured learning environment, there are clear objectives and goals for each lesson. This not only helps you maintain consistency in your learning, but it also helps you stay motivated as you work towards these goals. So the bottom line here is that if you're the type of person who needs guidance and direction, then you'll likely prefer the organization of Babbel's language courses more than LingQ's more free-flowing learning approach. Alright, so next up, and this is somewhat related to my previous point, but I just prefer Babbel's lesson format. It's much more diverse, engaging, and comprehensive than what LingQ offers. So first, and this is pretty important, Babbel emphasizes both expressive and receptive language skills within their lessons. What this means is that you'll get exposure to speaking, writing, listening, and reading, whereas LingQ primarily just focuses on reading and listening. That's one of my biggest gripes with LingQ. It's just very limited when it comes to the expressive side of language learning. And then number two, the Babbel lessons are just plain fun. They move fast and mix in a bunch of different quick hit drills and exercises such as fill in the blanks, matching pairs, pronunciation practice, conjugating verbs, quick grammar tips, and a lot more. This diversity keeps the learning process fun and fast, so I have to give Babbel credit for that. The lessons just seem to fly by. And the last thing that I like about Babbel's program over LingQ's is their focus on grammar. So Babbel includes grammar building block lessons throughout their coursework that cover important topics such as pronouns, verbs in the past tense, and modals. And just to be clear, these are not long, dense grammar sessions. Rather, they're just short, direct, and very digestible, which I think is extremely important during the early stages of language acquisition. You never want to overload new learners with overly detailed explanations, and Babbel does a really good job balancing this. Now with LingQ, on the other hand, grammar really isn't much of a priority. It's more of an afterthought within their program. All right, so that's Babbel. Now let's turn the tables and cover the major reasons to go with LingQ to learn a new language. And the first one is LingQ's massive library of content. This is a super deep roster of material, and you can easily get lost among all of the different choices. So as I noted earlier, there are a ton of different lessons to choose from within the LingQ platform, whether it's news articles about what's happening in the world right now, books, cartoons, podcasts, YouTube videos, and a lot more. And then breaking it down further, you can sort by topic too. So think sports, technology, culture, science, travel, history, the list just goes on and on. That way you can simply focus on the type of lesson and topics that actually interest you, which is super valuable in my opinion. Not only does learning with relevant content provide context for language use, helping students understand how the language is used in real-life situations, but it can also help students retain new vocabulary more effectively because you're likely to pay attention and connect the new information to your existing knowledge. All right, so number 2, I love that LingQ allows you to import your own content and turn it into lessons. And they make it super easy. Simply copy and paste the information yourself or upload a file, and LingQ will automatically generate a transcript and transform the article, book, podcast, or whatever you upload into a personalized lesson just for you. And yes, this touches on my last point about relevant content. When you choose the material that's relevant and interesting to you, it makes the learning experience more engaging and effective. But more importantly than that, in my opinion, when you use content that you're already familiar with, you can focus more on understanding the language itself rather than trying to understand the content. Plus, familiar content provides context for learning new words and phrases, making it easier to remember and apply them in different situations. And last up here, I like how LingQ gamifies the learning experience. So you earn points and coins for various activities such as reading, listening, and learning new words. And as you accumulate points, you advance through different levels, providing a sense of achievement and progress. And then on top of that, LingQ keeps track of your streaks. They offer challenges and contests to keep you focused on your goals. And there are leaderboards where you can see how you compare to others in terms of points, words learned, and other metrics, which creates a sense of competition and helps keep you motivated. It just makes the learning process more enjoyable and engaging and gives you a sense of accomplishment to boost your confidence and encourage you to continue learning. So I definitely want to give LingQ credit for that. But anyway, that about does it for the detail in this comparison. So let's get to my final verdict. But before I get to that, I should just mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we actually give away a free language learning course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter and everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know it takes like 10 seconds to get entered, and hey, you never know. You could win a totally free subscription to Babbel or LingQ. All right, so back to the final verdict. Should you choose LingQ or Babbel to learn a new language? Well, after testing each app, I have to give the win to Babbel here. Sure, there are definitely some positives of going with LingQ, such as their massive library of content and how they gamify the learning experience. But overall, Babbel's language courses are simply more comprehensive and effective. Not only do I prefer Babbel's structured learning path, but their lessons are also more diverse since they incorporate aspects of speaking and writing in addition to reading and listening. Plus, I'm a big fan of how Babbel teaches grammar. So all in all, I'd say that if you're serious about learning a new language, I recommend Babbel over LingQ. But anyway, that's all I've got for you. I hope this video's been helpful and you learned a little something about both companies. If so, please return the favor by subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and drop me a quick comment below. That would be really appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written comparison of these two apps that I mentioned earlier in this video, just hop on over to our website. Again, that's testprepinsight.com, or you can check out the other videos we have on our YouTube channel. Got a bunch of great content out there. But as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next one.